fucking proud of you, lad.
Alright, let's get into it. I hate hype trains. Look, I'm not saying I hate Till, nor am I saying that he is completely hype. Cause he might not be. But then again, he could be. He'll have his chance to prove that he's not when he faces Wonder Boy. But why the f is the number 7 ranked contender fighting the number 1 contender? What?
That nigga's tripping.
It's a pretty fun fight, no doubt about it, that I'm looking forward to. But man, does the UFC like to push fighters that talk a lot of shit and are undefeated or nearly undefeated. Don't believe me? Let's take a look at some examples. Mackenzie Dern. Even though she's not much of a trash talker, she is so annoying. She's 7-0 and only has 2 fights in the UFC. Her UFC debut was very unimpressive. I don't think she won that fight against Ashley Yoder. I don't know what the judges were thinking. Move on to her second fight in the UFC, and she's already on the main card of a pay-per-view, and she doesn't even make weight by 7 pounds. 7 pounds. She controversially wins her fight, and in the UFC, puts her in the flyweight rankings at number 15 when she hasn't even had 1 fight there in the organization. You know what? Let's take a look at some hype trains that have already been derailed. In my opinion, most of these fighters were derailed because the UFC put them up against top level competition way too quickly. These fighters would have been in a better position right now if they weren't rushed. But no, nowadays the UFC is about entertainment. Notice how most of these fighters are still fairly young, so they still have plenty of more room for improvement. And that's another reason why you shouldn't create them into hype trains. Because they're still fairly young and they need more experience. Something else that I hate about hype trains are that they get special treatment over other fighters that deserve it more. For example, like I mentioned earlier with Mackenzie Dern, you get put on the main card when you have minimal fights in the organization. You also get paid more and are promoted more often. This is completely unfair to fighters that have been around longer and are doing well. And I understand some fighters just aren't that marketable, but man, where's the integrity though?
I don't give a fuck.
It's kind of absurd what the casual fans have to say about the hype train sometimes. I don't get it. If you casually watch a sport, why talk about it as if you watch it all the time? Unfortunately, we can't do anything about hype trains. They just come and go. So yeah, that's my little rant about hype trains. Who do you think will be the next hype train to be derailed? I'm planning on making my videos longer and also showing my face so you can see how I look like. I've been really busy. I've also been working on a new series. It's going to be predictions, but it's going to be a little bit different than what you're used to. Thank you for watching. Respect to all the fighters, and I'll see you in the next video.